start us off, I'd really like to sort of get your views on what you think is so unique about British product, particularly in this home and gift area that we're talking about, because it's interesting the work we've been doing in conjunction with the UKTI. We have been talking to international buyers, and they often use the words heritage and eclectic and unique in terms of describing British products, how they see them. So really interested to start us off, get your individual thoughts, and Alice, perhaps with your international view looking in at British products and British design. I'm just really interested what you particularly think.
Well, we have such an incredible heritage, both of design and manufacturing in Britain, that it's very difficult to generalise. But if I had to sum up, to sort of crystallise what makes British design, particularly in this sector, so special, I would say it is the sort of idiosyncratically British mix of the respect for tradition and for history, a real zest for modernity and the new, an ability to continually reinvent and innovate, but sort of twisted together with our typically British sense of humour. And I think that's a very powerful and very appealing combination that has stood British products in great stead from the Industrial Revolution onwards.
It really is one of those, I suppose, brands, British brands in essence, that speaks to all of those values. So uniqueness, you mentioned, heritage, provenance, and all the modernity that comes with it. If I try and position that within the luxury market and really speaking to a luxury consumer, what we're seeing in terms of an evolution of that consumer is, whereas maybe a decade ago, that consumer was a little bit more ostentatious, very much buying into brands and logo and being very obvious about their luxury purchases. What we're starting to see at Harrods, and I'm sure across the luxury sector, is much more of a development to a slightly more considered luxury purchase. And actually what that means is that the consumer is looking for craftsmanship, the understanding of the provenance behind the brand, the heritage that brings all of that together, as well as what can often be a quirky or tongue-in-cheek design, or certainly innovation. And those things together, and actually then presenting that to the consumer so they understand what that means, to me is really sums up how Britain can, or British brands can play a super important part in that whole new world.
Can I just follow up on that point about heritage? It really is very important. I'm going to come to heritage, but first of all, I think British also means safety, reliability and quality and trust, and all of those things are really important. And I'm really delighted to be sandwiched between Selfridges and Harrods, which is a really good place to be, and next to Byra as well. In terms of heritage, I'm drinking here out of a cup design which is nearly 200 years old, out of a pattern which is nearly 200 years old. This is Spode Blue Italian, first designed by Josiah Spode the Younger in 1816. That's fantastic. But what does British mean? If you look inside that pattern is Amari, which is based on the Japanese port from which they exported most porcelain in the 16th and 17th century. And the picture in the middle is based on a Frederick de Moucheron print from the 17th century, and he was a Dutch Grand Master. So British also means cosmopolitan, in my view.
I think that example is great for the different generations as well. So whereas I'd be completely happy to drink out of that, and you'd expect to see that in maybe a 20-something or a 30-something kitchen or household, you could also expect to see that across any of the generations. And I think in terms of trends and development, that's something that the Brits do really well. So both British consumers and also British products and designers.
I think consumers get sport for choice, because that's a lovely cup, but I'm sure you do more modern designs as well, because you have to do everything for everybody. The consumer expects to have just what he wanted, if he wants pure heritage, if he wants latest design. And from an independence point of view, we like design, and British design in particular, in terms of bringing new opportunities for retailers, because times are hard at the moment, and to get, if you're not fully top end, then you've got to get people to spend their money when it's hard here, and they need to see something aspirational that they're not used to seeing, and they, well, I must have that. And it's creating demand when they've got plenty of cups where they can drink in their house, and why do I need another one? Well, it's that British design that makes them, tempts them to.
And the trust element, just like Dick spoke about, actually, if you're going to invest your hard-earned money, you want to do it in something that you trust the quality, you trust the efficiency, you trust that it's going to, yeah, absolutely, that it's going to bring not just something desirable so it's a pleasure to purchase, but also is going to serve you very well as well in the long run.